And within an hour, we actually made the decision to sell our home.
This one came standard with a 50-inch TV.
Over here, we have my favorite part of the kitchen.
I wish someone would have told me this when we first started. Hi, I'm Beth.
I'm Court.
And we live in a 35-foot Alliance Paradigm 310 RL.
And today we're gonna take you inside for a little tour.
Let's go.
Welcome to our kitchen. First, we're going to start off with the ginormous counter space we have, and we absolutely love this because there's so much space to do so many activities. And it's really nice to just have this space like a normal kitchen so you can do things with food. And sometimes you don't get that when you're living in such a small space, so we are very grateful for this. We have the double basin stainless steel sink, which again, it's so nice to just throw all of the dishes in there. They have a nice spot to rest until they're ready to be hand washed because we don't have a dishwasher. So we appreciate the extra space in the sink. We have a residential size stove, which is amazing because a lot of RVs often have the what we call easy bake oven, where there's not a whole lot of space to do baking, and we haven't used it yet, but we're excited that we have so much space for when we're ready to use it. We have the 4-burner stove up here, so we have the 2 big burners in the front and the 2 small ones in the back, and those run on propane. So it's really nice, again, you have the full-size stove, that way you can cook multiple things at once. And as you can see, there is a ton of storage space in the kitchen, and these drawers are actually reinforced to hold up to 90 pounds of weight, which is pretty incredible. They're not flimsy, they're sturdy, and they all have the soft close mechanism, so there's no slamming. There is a window, which we are big window people, and as we continue the tour, you will see there are a lot of windows, but we love that there's a window in the kitchen. That way when we're cooking, we can pop it open, or it's just nice to have a view and not be staring at a wall. We do have a water filter externally outside of the rig, but we kind of are water snobs and really like our water to be filtered well. So this is our water filter, and we love that there's enough counter space that it's not a huge eyesore and that we can house that right here where we need to. We have a residential sized microwave, which is amazing. And if you look inside the microwave, there's metal in here. After a little bit of research, we learned there is a certain type of metal that can go in the microwave that is safe. And over here, we have my favorite part of the kitchen, the giant residential size refrigerator and freezer. This is a lot of space, especially when you're living in a tiny home. And as you can see, we still don't use all of the storage in here. Sometimes we put things up top just to make it look like it's all the way full. Another surprising feature about this refrigerator is it actually doesn't run on propane. It runs off the 12-volt battery, which is really awesome because not only does it have a lower amperage draw, it can run for up to 20 hours on the battery alone. Here we have our full-sized pantry. So in our previous rig, there was no pantry. We literally just had to pick a cupboard and say, this is where food's going to go. So it was incredible when we upgraded to see that there was an actual pantry. So this is a designated space that you really could use for whatever. You could put keys up here, mail, but we chose to convert it into a coffee/tea nook. And we also love that this rig has accent lighting, which isn't something you typically see. So back here, you can see that the shelf is backlit, and that is a single switch that we can turn on that turns on accent lighting throughout the entire house. So it gives the little coffee nook a nice little cute cozy glow. And down here, we have the breaker control panel. So if you open this up, there is a nice organized list of where everything is and what it's connected to. So if you trip a breaker switch, you can simply flip it back, and everything is color coded with the wiring. That way, if we need to get in there and something is wrong, we know exactly what we're working with and what it's connected to.
I grew up in Michigan and decided to get into tiny living because we were tired of never getting to see family and friends across the United States and really never having seen other states besides our own. Michigan is beautiful, but there are a lot of other states and we had never seen them. So we were like, what if we just got a thing that moved and we got to travel all the time?
And I am from Cadillac, Michigan, which is a very, very small town that no one really knows about. And we made that decision together. And since we're married, we agreed that we both were on board for tiny living. And it was really reciprocal and mutual. A lot of times you'll hear one person in the couple is on board, the other needs some persuading. And we both really just had the idea at the same time, and we talked about it. And within an hour, we actually made the decision to sell our home, everything we owned, and figure out this lifestyle.
We moved quick. Welcome to the living room. I'm so excited that we actually get to introduce a living room because in our other trailer, it was all one room. So let's start with some of the cool features here. One of our favorite features is that the windows have sunshades, which actually make a huge difference for not only keeping the rig cool, but sometimes the sun, depending on where it's setting, can be shooting right in your eyes, and these come in very handy. The second layer of shade is a blackout shade. Now, this is something that a lot of rigs don't come standard with, and it's really hard to get them dark, especially when parks have lighting on the outside to keep it safe. That's great for safety, but also it makes for kind of a terrible night's sleep. So we're really grateful that these come standard equipped with blackout shades. We have massive amounts of storage in the cupboards up here, and this is how we choose to use them. We have books and back care because we're over 30 and this is our life. And then we have just extra sheets and bedding for the couch that pulls out into a bed, which is really great because we used to never be able to have guests over because we had nowhere for them to be quite literally sitting or sleeping. So we have our extra sheets and stuff up here. What we found is a lot of rigs actually don't come standard with TVs anymore, but this one came standard with a 50-inch TV, which we absolutely love. It provides a lot of fun in our relaxation time. We also have a fireplace, which is actually an electric heater, so it provides a lot of warmth so that we don't always have to be using our propane, because in the winter months, you can definitely go through propane very quickly, even if you're in a warmer climate when the temperatures dip down at night. So we love this fireplace. It changes colors. You can adjust the heat. You can actually have the light on without heat as well, if you are in a warmer climate, but just like the cozy fireplace feel. The cool thing about this fireplace is if you pull it out, there's actually a ton of storage behind here as well. We use this space to store things like an extra fan, a dehumidifier, an electric heater that is smaller that we can keep in the bedroom. Anything we can do to use the electric heat versus the propane, we typically like to do that as long as we're doing it in a safe manner. Here, this is my favorite place to sit someone when they first walk in. I say, let me grab you a seat, and I recline them out. Look how far back this goes. This provides for some wonderful, cozy entertainment nights, and there's two of them. This section in the middle comes down for some cup holders, and underneath, more storage.
This is the dining room area. As you can tell, it is surrounded by gorgeous, large atrium windows, and this is probably one of our favorite features of this rig, is anywhere you look, there are windows. It's beautiful. It lets in so much natural lighting, and sometimes when you're in a rig full time, you can feel a little cooped up and caged in when there's not a lot of light, so this has really improved our quality of life. That sounds dramatic, but it's not, and we love them. So the dining room area also doubles as our workspace. We both work full time, so a lot of times we'll rotate between the recliner, the dining room area. So we eat our meals here, but we also do a lot of our work here as well. So as soon as you come into our rig, immediately you're brought into this entryway that has two stairs leading up to the upper level, and then we have our control panels over here. One thing that's really cool about this, a lot of fifth wheels will have the electric panel where everything's kind of a touch screen, which is great until you run into an electrical problem and you can't access your buttons that you need to. So all of these are just manual standard push buttons, which we actually love. These are also the controls where we can check our tanks to see if they're full. We can turn on our tank heaters, which is really exciting because we did not have that in our travel trailer. So when the temperatures start to drop, you can get a little nervous because you don't want your tanks to freeze and crack. So now we have the option to turn on the tank heater, so it gives us peace of mind that we have a lesser chance of having that situation happen. pieces of advice that I have for anyone who's looking to get into this lifestyle. One, you don't need to buy everything that is advertised for tiny home living. Believe us, we did not listen to that advice. Actually, no one gave us that advice, and we bought everything, and then we ended up giving a lot of it away or donating it. So it's okay to just start with the basics, take your time, get a couple months under your belt, and slowly add things, and your wallet will thank you. The second piece of advice is, it doesn't really matter how long you've been together and how strong your relationship is. When you are moving into a tiny space, it is a completely different ballgame. We went into this thinking we're good, we're really good at communicating.
And
we were, but we needed some extra skills in our toolbox in order to live in such a small space together. So as far as that goes, my tip is overly communicate. Even when it's just walking up behind the person saying, on your right, I'm gonna reach over and grab this. The more you can proactively communicate, the smoother things are going to go.
And get a good therapist.
And therapy is important. That's a good one too. And now we're in the bathroom. So over here to the right, we have these beautiful epoxy countertops that look like marble, very luxurious. We have the stainless steel basin sink, which is really nice because if you've ever had the plastic sink in your rig, you know they are a nightmare to clean. They crack and everything always looks gross and grimy. So we love that we upgraded to this sink, and we think this whole corner just looks super cute, very clean, very aesthetically pleasing. So we knew the bathroom was a little bit smaller, but we were so willing to give that up to have the gorgeous, gorgeous full-size shower. We are able to comfortably fit in the shower, which is a really big deal to us. That's one of the biggest complaints you hear with RVers is the shower is really tricky and really challenging. So when we look at this shower, it makes us feel like we actually have a home-size shower, which makes us feel really great. And over here, we have the toilet. And I don't think you ever talk about toilets as much as you do when you're talking about RV life, but typically most rigs come with just the typical plastic toilet. Again, like the sink, they get really grimy, they look kind of gross, they're hard to keep clean. And what we love about this toilet is it's porcelain. So it is the same kind of material that you would have in a typical sticks and bricks home. And while right now we're hooked up to shore power and sewer, these tanks are pretty decent size. That way, if we wanted to go off grid and do boondocking, or we had a travel day, our black tank holds 53 gallons, our gray tanks combined hold 106 gallons of water, and our fresh tank holds 98 gallons of water. So that is a significant amount of holding tank space and freshwater space. So it gives us a peace of mind that if we wanted to go off grid for a little bit, we could do that and feel comfortable about the size of the holding tanks.
Now for the bedroom. So first up, we have a sliding barn door, which in our other rig, we didn't have a door at all, so this was very exciting to us. Next up, we have a king-size bed. And of course, you guessed it, more storage underneath. And look at how easily I lifted that. In our other rig, there were no gas struts underneath that would help. So this is a huge improvement for us. And again, soft close, no big deal. Very exciting for anybody who has been in a rig that doesn't have those gas strut features. So the bedroom is actually the third slide. So this entire unit comes in and comes up to the actual dresser here. Now, something that we were so excited about coming from the rig that we were coming from is the dresser. We have not had drawers in 3 years. So this was really exciting that we have 6 drawers over here and even more sneaky storage. Now on this side, we have 2 full-length mirrors on the sliding doors of our closet, which we have never had. So this is really exciting. There are even shelves up top, which I don't have any hair, so I wear a lot of hats all the time. So I have a healthy hat collection, and they fit perfectly in these shelves up here. So when we first hit the road, there was a lot of learning, which is why we created a YouTube channel and kind of logged the entire journey, what it was like for us start to finish, because there's always those things that you're like, I wish someone would have told me this when we first started. So anyway, the journey has been really cool for us, but working full-time while you're figuring out how to exist in a traveling house can be pretty stressful. So it is really important that any place that we can take the stress out, like a strong internet signal, that's really important to us to make sure that we're accommodating those pieces, because it is stressful trying to figure out how to live in a traveling house. Even going from a travel trailer to a fifth wheel, there are differences. So any place that you can be easy on yourself and make it a little less stressful, we recommend that. I work full-time for a sales and marketing company, and we serve clients all over the world, helping their B2B mid-market businesses grow.
And I run our small business called Life with Beth and Court, which is a content creation business. So we partner with a lot of businesses to do UGC content for them, or sometimes we'll share things on our page. And then I am also a social media coach. And you can find us at Life with Beth and Court on any social media channel, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We have them all, and we will link them all below. And thank you for watching our tiny home tour. Bye.
Bye.